Friends, Greg, New Master, coming at you again with another action figure review. Today I have Thundercats Ultimates Grune, the Destroyer. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Help me build my channel. Yes. So, this is from Super 7. This is from Wave 2. We've been waiting 2.5 years for this wave, these figures. We got Tigra, Groon, Mumra, the Ever-Living, and Snowman of Hook Mountain in this wave. I did not purchase Snowman because... or maybe it's Pumira. I'm sorry, it's Pumira. I didn't purchase Pumira and Snowman because I didn't really want Snowman. And I already have the original Pumira, which I'm fine with, even though they made the new one shorter. Excuse me, which is fine. So that being said, Groon the Destroyer is an excellent character in the original series, but he was a wasted character. I say that he's excellent because he has such a cool backstory. And, you know, the cool and fun thing about Thundercats is that it was all over the place. We had sci-fi, fantasy, mix of Star Wars and anthropomorphic cats and all kinds of craziness. They pretty much mixed every genre together in that show, which was fun for kids because it was all over the place, like I said. But it's also a bad thing that it was all over the place because Groon's story in the original show is a ghost story. And Groon was a former Thundercat, and he was a contemporary of Jaga, and they were actually allies and friends. And Groon was a great and powerful Thundercat who turned bad and turned against the Thundercats. And Jaga captured him, defeated him, and I guess he enslaved him. But the episode never really explains it, which it really doesn't make sense. So Jaga fights with Groon on Thundera. Thundera is a totally different planet, country, city, world, whatever you want to say. It's on another planet, Thundera. So when the episode begins, some little fellas discover Groon in I think it was a cave, and there's a seal in the cave, and they break the seal, and it releases Groon, and Groon is released. The spirit of Groon is released on Third Earth, and there's a great battle, and Lion-O fights him, and then Lion-O summons the spirit of Jaga and gives him the Sword of Omens, and then Jaga defeats Groon. And it's a really fun story. But it doesn't make any sense because how did Groon end up on Third Earth? That's one question. And the other thing is, I guess the implication is that Jaga killed Groon, but we don't really get much information. So back to Groon being awesome. Groon is an awesome character because he's actually a threat to the Thundercats, and he was a former Thundercat, so he would know their ways. He would know strategies to defeat them, especially being that Jaga is responsible for mentoring Lion-O, and so are the other Thundercats. So he was a threat, but they made him a ghost, and in the original series, we only saw him a few times. I think it was 2 or 3 times that Groon showed up on the show, so it was very disappointing. Like I said, because he posed the threat. Mumra always got defeated. The mutants always got defeated. The Lunatics, sometimes they won. And I think Monkeyan won one time, and Mumra hardly ever succeeded, ever. So Groon was just this threat, and he was a great bad guy, and all that to say is that I liked him in the new series. They sort of retconned his origin story, so instead of being buddies with Jaga, he was buddies with Panthro, and he betrayed Panthro. And it would have been great to see that series continue. It was interesting, and it was getting really good, and they only did 1 season, and it was such a bummer. That show deserved at least 2 to 3 seasons. And we could have seen Lion-O progress and become a man and become the king and all that kind of stuff. So, such a bummer. But anyhow, enough of me babbling. Groon is awesome. Been waiting for this wave for a long, long time. Let's bust him open. So, he comes in this mailer, like all the other figures. That's what it looks like on the bottom. Good thing it does come in this mailer, because the day my figures arrived, it was pouring down rain, and the UPS guy just left the package in the rain. Of course they do, because what do they care? So as I open the box, notice how this is how my figure came. It was just weird. Seemed like they were hustling to get these things and shipped out. So he was actually putting the mailer backwards. All my figures were like this in this wave. Wave 4 was not like this, but this is how it was for Wave 2. Really nice. They put them in these plastic bags, which is great. They're taped at the bottom, but I already cut the tape. So it comes off just like that. Here's the beautiful packaging. We get the Mumra logo, which signifies bad guys. It says Groon, Thundercats classic logo, Ultimates on the top. In the back, we get Thundercats. And let's slip this baby off. I'm going to do it backwards. And this is the reactionary figure, I believe. I don't collect them, though, but that's what I've heard on other reviews, that this is the same image. So often they look different. And it says, Groon the Destroyer. Groon was once a Thundercat, but he became contemptuous of the Thunderians. He was sworn to protect and betrayed them. Vanquished by Jaga in an epic battle and exiled, he came to Third Earth and terrorized its inhabitants. When Groon died, his tomb was magically sealed to imprison his malevolent spirit. Freed in the present, Groon ferociously assaulted the Thundercats until he was again defeated by Jaga in ghostly combat. So it's a great episode in Season 1. Highly recommend it. And here is this guy, and I've just been so excited for this figure. So there are complaints about him, but we'll get into that. But let's stick with the positives, because this is just, to me, this is one of the coolest Thundercats figures to have. I had him when I was a kid, from the LJN line, and let's get a look at him. So, all right, mine is a little knobbly need in the package. They really got them in there nice and tight in the plastic, and so I think what happened here is, so this Groon figure is a little bit taller. Excuse me. So he's a bit taller than what he was in the promotional images. And I think what they did in the promotional images is he had a different body sculpt. He had the typical Masters of the Universe Classics body sculpt, where this one, I am confident he is bigger. So right up front, let's check this out. So yes, see, he's taller than Lion-O. He's a lot taller than Lion-O. And the only reason Lion-O looks taller is because of Lion-O's hair. But look, Groon's shoulders are taller. His head comes to the top of Lion-O's hair. And he has just a much bigger body sculpt. So it's a different sculpt than I think in the promotional pictures. If you look closely, that's why you don't see this hip gap, which is kind of weird, because they could have pulled the Thunder Trunks down, but I just don't think it lines up with this body sculpt, and that's why I think it's off. And that's why it's a little bit, see, that's loose. And it's because the Thunder Trunks aren't inhibiting the joint, so that's why it's kind of wonky and it's different. So, but I gotta say, he looks great. I love him. He looks fantastic. He has the one tusk. He's very cat face looking, where the other Thundercats have human looking noses. He has that nice puffy upper lip in the wide cat nose, just like a real lion or a big cat, or I guess he'd be a saber-toothed tiger. That's what he looks like from the back. And he comes with all sorts of accessories. And this is just, I mean, the paint looks really good. He looks a lot better than Tigra did. It seems like Tigra was the most coveted figure of this wave, and they did the worst job on Tigra. But Groon looks great. Mumra looks great. I believe Pumaira looks great from the reviews I've seen. So he looks really good. So let's do some articulation. So his head can barely move because of his big mane of hair. He's on that ball joint, so you can sort of slide it over. But pretty much limited movement on that head. Arms go up really nicely, so that's good, because Tigra could barely move. And he also has these skull shoulder pads, and so the arms go up very well. We get the pinless joints on him as well. Good bend in the elbows, especially for how big he is, which pleases me, because it's, I don't know, Tigra was just so disappointing. Like, he could hardly move. He hardly had any articulation. And I'm sorry, guys. I am a big fan of articulation. I'm a big fan of double jointed knees and elbows. I like them on all my figures, my Star Wars figures, my Marvel Legends figures, especially figures that are meant to be agile. So the leg kicks up that high. The Thunder Trunks inhibit it. And like I said, my legs are loose. Like, look at that. The other Thundercats were not like that. The sculpt looks really good, though, gotta say. Let's see, his knee joints. Oh, man. So look at that. Come on. That's pathetic, Super 7. Look at that bend. That's all you're going to give us? That's all the articulation you're going to give us. Might as well have just given us the LJN figures and just called it a day. Like, if that's all you can give us in terms of articulation, I think you guys got to step up your game. No offense, but come on, man. Like, I'm not going to purchase those Power Ranger figures, even though they look good, because they don't have, they have limited articulation. And Power Rangers are ninjas, and they do martial arts. They need to be flexible. You need to be able to put them in dynamic poses. Ankle joint. So it's like, look, we got a nice ankle joint there that goes all the way. And then we got the pivot as well. This is a weird knee cut, so you can sort of turn the knee. There's also a hip cut that would replace the thigh cut. And because Groon's joint sticks out so far, you have lots of movement there. But I mean, it's like, look at that. Like, that's all the bend you get in his knee. Like, that's just awful, honestly. That's not that's not good articulation. So at least the arms are pretty well done. Also, we got the wrist hinge, full rotation. It's looking like he has the weapons hinge as well, where he can point the wrist down like so, which all the new waves have. So let's get a look at this. So here's his chest protector. It's technically called a cuirass, which I learned that in Rome when I studied ancient art. That's what these chest protectors are called. And this is a nice soft plastic. And I'm going to take this off because I want to display him in his Thundercat chest plate. Because I just think that's way cooler. And I want to display him as a Thundercat, even though I know that he is evil. And that way we can get a good look at what his body looks like underneath. Because there is hip rotation, and there is crunch. But this, the cuirass, it inhibits it. And it's kind of difficult to get off. And so let's see what he looks like underneath there. See how jacked he is. And that's what his body looks like. And he is pretty ripped, I gotta say. I wonder if his torso is the same torso as Lion-O. No, I think somebody said this is the Conan the Barbarian torso. And that's why he looks like that. So when you take the chest protector off, you get more movement in the head. So maybe you want to display your Groon like that. And just have him like so. So let's get a look at these accessories. So we get the other head, which is a really nice head. And he has the two tusks there. This hair is sort of a soft plastic, but not very much. I'm not sure what head I'm going to put on. I'll just leave his standard head on right now. This is a real soft plastic, which is really cool. That's a really nice feature, I gotta say. This is the magic seal that kept him from escaping. I assume Jaga put it there. You also get the broken seal. I'm not going to take that out. Love this accessory. So you get the broken Sword of Omens. And I remember how devastating that was when he broke the Sword of Omens. And Bengali actually... Or maybe it was the Lunatax, but Bengali does reforge the Sword of Omens, but I can't remember now, and please comment if you remember, when Groon broke the sword, was it Groon or was it one of the Lunatax? Because I remember the Lunatax snapping it, I don't remember Groon breaking it, but I love that you get this broken sword accessory with the closed eye, and the magic's all gone from the sword, so that's really awesome. So what else do we get here? We get the Thundercats chest protector cuirass. And or cuirass. Some people say cuirass because they don't want to say cuirass. But that's how it's pronounced. And that's what my teacher in Rome taught me. So if you want to argue about it, you can. But that's what I learned when I studied abroad. And it looks great. I love this. And I'm going to display him with that on him instead, which is wonderful. What else do we get? We get his awesome mace. And this thing looks fantastic. This looks like a sword breaker right there. So that's really great. What else do we get? These are... These are sort of his brass knuckles with spikes on them. And he can hold those, which is cool. I don't know if I'm going to use those. You get two of them. And I don't remember that. But I don't know. It's been a long time since I watched the entire series all the way through. So we get the nice weapon holding hands, which I love. And I'm going to put on him immediately. And then we get two clawed hands as well, as you can see there. Because he is a cat, after all. And I'm going to swap this out. Put that hand on like so. And put his mace in his hand. This is good because his hand's a nice soft plastic. Where some of the other Thundercats are really hard plastic. And it's very difficult to get the weapons in their hand. And that looks great. Yeah, he definitely looks like he could take on Conan the Barbarian with this body mold. He's actually kind of loose. His wrist is kind of loose. That's unfortunate. Maybe I'll have to put some stickum on it. Sticky tack. And just so you guys can see, this is what his brass knuckles look like. If I can get those on, get him in his hand. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. That's really savage. He can pound on Lion-O pretty good with that. Oh, and just so you can see, that's what his crunch looks like, and the torso articulation. So you have a lot of options with Groon if you want. But actually, I'm gonna put on. Let's put on the other chest protector. I'll stop calling it a cuirass or cuirass so you guys aren't offended. But that is what it's called. If you look at ancient Roman art, any Greek art. And let's put this guy on and check him out because I want to see Groon as a Thundercat. I don't know about you. It would have been cool too if they would have like slashed the logo and just scuffed this baby up to show that he's been in a lot of battles and things like that. That could have been a fun thing the Horsemen did, even though they didn't. They do great work, by the way. You gotta give them props because they do really good work. Beautiful sculpts, and that's what it looks like with it on, and you clasp it on the back like so. And it looks like this is going to have some trouble because it was sitting in the package and it was sort of bent, where the other one was nicely clasped already. So this is such a soft plastic that it doesn't want to go on properly. That's kind of a bummer, but all right, yeah, so there we go. Got that one on, and there, yeah, so it goes on very nice. We can pop on, see if we got Thundercat head on, and the mace, and the other hand, and he's ready to brawl as a Thundercat, which looks fantastic. So here he is with Jaga, just so you can see the size difference. Much larger than Jaga. And I already showed you with Lion-O. And here's what he looks next to a Battle Ready Tigra. So I gotta say, guys, he's a great figure. I really love this wave, just character-wise. So many awesome Thundercat characters. And next up, I'm going to be reviewing Mumm-Ra, the Ever-Living. So if you like my videos, please like and subscribe to my channel. And may God bless you all, guys. Peace. Thundercats ho!